guys sent me a new airlines in TAS, and Garrick, one of my admins, picked the 10 best airlines. So today I'm going to rate all 10 of them and see which airline actually deserves the top spot. Our first airline is Austria, and the first thing we see, the logo is inspired by Qantas. Not a big deal. Delivery, we can see a blue line, red engines, blue tail. However, the font doesn't really fit the livery itself, neither does the logo, and the colors don't play together very well. So livery and logo could have been better. We see he has 56 airplanes, and the fleet is made of mainly Airbus planes with 2 exceptions. I'm sure we'll get better ones. We can see 56 airplanes, so he's still a pretty new airline so far, not too bad. If you expand the fleet, you might want to think about a strategy here. For now, I would say it's fine. The network, as he mentioned in his airline description, connecting the 3 major cities of Australia with the world. One thing I like is that he is mainly connecting those major cities on the worldwide. If it goes to regional and New Zealand here, he's also connecting the smaller airports, which makes more sense for such an airline. So overall, not too bad. I would maybe say 5.5 out of 10 for now. Our next airline is Montas Air, and the first thing we see, the livery is truly awesome. Same for the logo. As he mentioned, I think he did traditional luxury airline based in the Baltics. We can't really see the Baltic thing. However, the luxury part can be easily seen. Seriously, one of the best liveries I've seen in this game so far. The fleet is built of 411 planes, and we have a clear strategy here. One A380-800 in the Airlines livery, everything else made of Airbus as well, main focus on the A320 family. I cannot complain about the fleet at all. And we can see this is a mess based in the Baltics, and yet having hubs in North America, Africa, barely any roads to Asia. I don't think you really have a clear plan. For luxury airline you might not want to use that. 9 out of 10. Next up we have Sri Lankan, pretty much inspired by the real airline, as we already can see with the plane. We have many plane types. Many plane types. So again, less of a strategy. 3 hubs in Sri Lanka. However, again, goes to New York. You guys like to hub New York, I see. We have many stopover flights, especially on the way to the USA, and flights to South America. So I get why you hubbed New York in this case. 7 out of 10. Now we have Scott Air, and he's in the Sunbound Alliance. By the way, it's an airline where I'm the co-owner. Logo, very simple, not much going on. We have a nice little bird, a blue tail, so a pretty simple livery, not really an eye-catcher. The fleet is mainly Airbus with some regional planes. Don't know why you would need an A380 in Scotland. The fleet is alright so far, and the network, we can see him connecting Scotland with the world. It's loading for ages again. We can even see flights to Scotland from New Zealand, which is way too long to even appear on my map here. You have the strategy of connecting the world with Scotland. Obviously, in real life, I don't think the demand would be that big in Scotland, so might not be the most realistic, but you have a strategy at least. 7.5 out of 10. Next up we have Faith Air, based in Turkey. The livery looks very Turkish. I don't know if the font really fits the whole theme of this Turkey thing. The livery is kept very simple, just like before. Nothing special, but the livery works like that. I was already talking about having too many plane types. So right here, if you think about maintenance and pilots, we would need pilots for every plane specifically, and maintenance crew. This wouldn't really make sense to anyone to have one plane of each of these plane types. It's a complete mess. Same thing for the network. We have the most random hubs in Germany, in Turkey, in Uzbekistan, South Korea, even in Tahiti. Yes, a route network based everywhere on this planet. 5 out of 10. Now we have Canada Wings, which, if it comes to the logo, looks just like a Canada. Looks very nice. So next up we have, again, a ton of planes. Not a real strategy. Hubs are only in Canada, spreading from Vancouver all the way to St. John's, and what even is this here? Connecting Canada with Europe, a bit Africa, a bit South America. So this airline, 8 out of 10, really solid airline. Next up we have Sun Air, and this time I'm here in Discord because what we can see, it's a budget airline in Europe, mainly Europe, something like Eurowings or Jet2. So first of all, the livery, you started very well with the yellow here. For some reason the tail is grey. It doesn't really fit the holiday theme. Wouldn't say it looks bad, but it doesn't really fit the whole theme in my opinion. The fleet once again a mess. You might want to think about a strategy, because especially for low-cost airlines, it makes more sense if you buy a mass of single planes like Ryanair does, buying 500 737 at once. Low cost from Sydney all the way to Mallorca, like low-cost airlines do, just spamming random airports and random routes which you've never really heard of. Overall, like the hubs generally make sense, so again, solid 8 out of 10. So now we have ExoJet Premium. Seriously, like the livery, very unique. Only thing I don't really like is this sudden end of this, what do you call it? It suddenly just ends here. You should have maybe added a transition or something. The fleet, first thing I see, A380s might not work in Jamaica. Mainly A330 family members, A340, A350. So for maintenance and pilots, this would make sense like that. With the network, we can see spread across all of the Caribbean Sea. A hub here back in Tokyo for some reason, and in Dubai. So again, hubs spread across all of the globe. However, this time in a limited extent. Overall, 9 out of 10 airline. Next up, we have Yorkshire Airlines. In his description, he mentioned that he's trying to connect Yorkshire with all of the world. I have no idea what that even is. The livery looks very simple, gray line here, blue engine and tail. The logo, to be honest, like the font doesn't really look special. The logo, however, looks really nice. So that's right. The fleet, we have 980 777Xs and some other mainly wide bodies and some A321neos. You can do it like that, doesn't look too bad. The network, we can see mainly the UK and Amsterdam being his hubs, even though he has one in Tokyo again. Not too bad. I still have no idea what Yorkshire is. Please tell me in the comments. Seriously, I've got no idea. So pretty simple airline, simple. 7 out of 10. Our next airline is Egyptian Airlines, again with single planes of a plane type. Yeah, fleet pretty unorganized. The livery looks interesting. I've never seen such a livery concept before. We have this bird here. That's also the one from Egypt Airlines themselves. The flag here on the tail and fuselage. Not bad, seriously. Pretty cool. His network, long haul from Cairo, and mainly those holiday flights from the holiday airports. Network pretty cool, livery pretty cool, and especially pretty unique. It's only the fleet, which is a complete mess. You don't need a huge fleet, I mentioned that in the announcement, but it should be organized at least, so it's 7.5 out of 10 here. And our last airline for today is the airline of Garrick himself. Here we see Air America, straight up copying the logo from American Airlines. The livery looks American, I would say. His fleet, huge fleet, however, mainly 737 MAX 10s and mainly only Boeings except for this Embraer here. So here's the network. We can see the hubs are only in the US. Yeah, I think it's just that most routes don't appear, over 3,000 routes. So, however, we can see him connecting the American mainland with the whole world. So definitely a nice airline. In my opinion, 9 out of 10. I think that's a pretty fair rating, yeah. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. If you want to attend in the next event, make sure to join my Discord server, link is in the description. Thanks to Garrick for choosing all these airlines here. Thanks to everyone who attended. I sadly cannot include all of your airlines. There are way too many, and neither do I have the time to record all of that, and the video would have been too long anyways. So make sure to like and subscribe, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitch. Make sure to join my Discord server, links in the description, and see you next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.